I'll be honest with you, I didn't think that sexy and knitting patterns were two words that I would ever like combine in the same sentence. But after browsing Ravelry and Instagram for the past several hours or so, I changed my mind. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about a whole bunch of sexy knitting patterns for spring and summer. And there are a bunch of good ones. And so, well, without waiting any further, because it is only getting hotter and hotter as we speak, let's jump into the knitting patterns. We're going to start with another two words that I thought would never go together, and that is sexy polo top. And yet, the hot mesh polo from Kevin Haggerty has absolutely proven me wrong. I honestly really didn't think that you could make a sexy polo shirt, but this one is like the sexiest polo shirt of them all. It is a mesh knitting pattern. It's in a DK weight yarn, and one of the things I love about mesh knitting patterns is that because they are so holy, because they are such like large gauge, they require very, very little yarn. And so you can usually do this in like a couple skeins. The effect is so cool and so sexy that I think that it is definitely worth trying at least one mesh knitting pattern. And if you are going to try a mesh knitting pattern this year, I would say this one is a worthwhile one. It's got some fun techniques. I love the collar. Obviously I love the polo shirt vibes. It looks good on everyone. You can layer it in really fun ways if you want to be a little bit more modest, or you can not layer it at all and go full on naked under there, and that will be super sexy too. So this is a really good one. I highly recommend. I would not have thought that I would put this on my personal knitting list, but it is there. It's on it. The second knitting pattern on my list is another mesh knitting pattern. I think most people might already know this, but I couldn't not put it on the list because it is sexy as heck. This is the Look at My Holes from James and Watt. It is a sexy mesh raglan. Again, DK weight, and it doesn't use a ton of yarn because it is holy as heck. I also think it's so cool how many different people have made this. Like, it has a ton of people who have knit this, and so you can pretty much find a Look at My Holes raglan top in like any variety of like bodies and colors and styles and styling and like all of that stuff. So we have two more mesh knitting patterns. I'm not sorry. The next one is the cloud skirt. If you made this in a neutral color with like a neutral bikini, so classy for the beach. But also if you make it in a super bright color, or if you make it with scrap yarn, the way that this example was made, also super high impact, very cool, street style, streetwear vibes. This is a really good one. It's very new to come out, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing more people make this and style it and kind of see, you know, maybe my mind will be changed and next summer I'll be knitting this, who knows. And the last of the mesh patterns is from the queen of sexy knitting patterns, Jessie May. She recently came out with the Helix halter, and Jessie May is such a popular knitting designer that you know we're just gonna see tons and tons of this pattern throughout the summer, and I'm here for it. I really like the open shoulder vibe that she has at view, but it also is really nice as a little like tank top too. In like true Jessie May fashion, it is a very sexy top and not for the faint of heart, but you know, if you love Jessie May and you've made her patterns before, chances are you love showing a little bit of something. So anyways, I think it's great, but I definitely had to include it because it is so new and like super sexy. The next category is tank tops, or camisoles as you might see them called. I'm wearing one right now. This is from My Favorite Things Knitwear, and I'll put all the information about that in the description box. I like to wear them with a little cardigan in cooler months. They're really great base layers in the winter as well, and then in the summer you can wear them on their own, and they're just super breezy and nice and airy. And so I have a few in this category that I want to talk about, starting with one that I purchased. It's the Coastal Tank from Charissa Lamb. I just love the structure of it. I believe it's half twisted rib or full twisted rib, and you can make it either crisscross in the back or just have it, you know, thicker straps going straight down. I personally will make it not crisscross in the back. I don't really love like that design on myself. I really like those clean lines of having it just square in the back and square in the front. I think that it's a really pretty top. You can make it super cropped the way that she has it, or a bit longer. I think the twisted rib makes for just a really solid fabric. It's really stretchy and really, I think, just kind of like holds everything in really nicely. I love it as a neutral personally. I think in black, cream, or like beige is really nice, but you can also go super like bright, vibrant the way that she has with the pink one here, and I think that looks really beautiful as well. Yeah, this one is super great. I love it for the summer. I also like it as a layering or base layer piece. Not in the summer. Another cami style top is the Cosmo top, and this one I think is super sexy. I really like this dramatic cutout. I think that is really cool. I don't know how much it will stay up, to be honest. I do worry about that a bit, but I think that if you put some elastic here, that would kind of help that problem if you were worried about it. This is definitely not like a bra friendly top, or you might want to wear like a strapless bra, because yeah, like you can't really do much with that situation. Yeah, this one I just thought was so different, and even though there were so many really interesting ones, I really liked the one shoulder. I really liked this like deep cutout. Like I mentioned, the only issue that I would really foresee is, well, it falling, and I also wonder how it would work on bigger busts, but I am personally not of the bigger bust category of person, and so I know that I could probably wear this pretty comfortably. This one is probably one of the like sexiest ones on this list. It is the Triple Threat Cami from Mia Anderson. I believe also she goes by Anxious Girl Knits on Instagram. I really like how from the front, this one is kind of sweet, very, you know, a little innocent looking, and then from the back, it's just like sexy. It's just like strings, open back, super sexy. Everyone who's made this looks babely. I don't know if I necessarily have like the confidence to go out in public wearing this, but I think it would be super fun to knit. Probably quite easy to knit as well. All I can say is just like a really sexy top, and I want you guys to make it and tag me in it because it's beautiful. I tried to put only one pattern for each designer, but for another knit I put two because I really like what she's doing. I actually purchased this one shoulder tank top, and I think it is really, really cool. I also just think it's quite classy. I really want to wear this with a loose fitting pair of trousers. I think in like a neutral color, that's kind of like my vibe, especially with like a button up shirt over it, just kind of like laid back but sophisticated and sexy at the same time, showing a little bit of skin but not too much. That's definitely like my summer vibe. I've been really into like the one shoulder silhouette lately. It's definitely like my nostalgia, my like 90s nostalgia and like early 2000s nostalgia kicking in. And then the other one from Another Knits is the Another Lace tie-up cami, or Another Lace tie-up top. Little front tie, lace pattern, really sweet, kind of crochet-esque. I feel like you don't see a lot of like knit tops with this sort of pattern. It kind of looks a lot like crochet, but I also just really like how it looks. I think it's quite sweet. I wanted to include it because I think a lot of you would like this one. One of my goals for this year was to knit a dress, and I think summer is a pretty good time to do that. And so I put the Polpero vest and dress from Ching Fibers. I really love the texture of this, and it just looks so solid, and like it would just be really well fitting. I can see it like just kind of molding to your body well, kind of like with the Costal tank, just the texture of the fabric that it creates I feel like would be very, very smoothing on the body because it has so much visual interest, and it's also a bit of like a thicker, denser fabric, kind of like a gingham vibe with the two colors. I really like the tiny tie straps. Part of me is like, maybe I'll just knit the top for this, but I think that knitting the full dress would just be really cool. So maybe that's something to start sooner so that I could at least have it by the end of the summer. It's one of my favorites on this list. It's like something that you might see from like Paloma Wool. Feels very expensive when you look at it. Another dress is the Melitas dress from Inez Oliveira. And now that I'm looking at this, it is quite expensive. It is €17 or 26 Canadian dollars. And I do think that designers should charge for their work, but this does feel a little bit pricey. That said, it is beautiful. I really like how she styled it, both in the front with the buttons and the buttons in the back. The lines are beautiful. It could be dressed up or down really well. I've seen it in like a black version that just looks really sophisticated. And then I've also seen it knit short, and that just looks really cute too. And this may be a bit more approachable than like a maxi or like midi version. And I love those tiny buttons all down the center back or center front, depending on how you wear it. Even though it is a bit more expensive, I think that the style lines are just really, really beautiful. And you can take a look at what other people have knit and decide if it's something that you think would be worth it. It does have a good clarity rating, I think 4.6. and then an overall rating of 4.8. So I always look at that when I'm spending a bit more on a pattern to make sure that it is worthwhile to me. But that is the Amelia's dress from Inez Oliveira. Another really beautiful knitting pattern. Last up is the Venla skirt from Milena Johola. I love the stripy version. I really like the curvy slit. I think it's super cute. I really like it styled with tights as well. This just came out, so I don't really know what the pattern is like and I can't vouch for it or anything, but it is one that I would buy. I really like a lot of what this designer puts out. It also just seems like very ready to wear to me, and it's just a fun pattern. I think like a skirt like this is so cool. It's really unique, and if you got to use with a bunch of scraps, that would be a bonus. All right, well, that's everything. Thanks so much for being here. If you want to watch more videos from me, you can click right here. This is a whole playlist that you can tune into. If you want to hang out with me on the internet some more, I'm on Instagram and TikTok at Making Cassie. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content about making your own wardrobe and following along with me as I make my own wardrobe. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.